Welcome back, everybody, to more Low Tide City 2022 action. It's your boys next door still here. I'm Neighbor. This is Kimona. And we're taking you through the rest of this electrifying top 8.
Yeah, what a top 8 it's been. We've seen so many Game 5s, so many fan favorites rise and fall throughout. But now we have another match coming up in losers semis. It's still technically top 4. We still have 4 people left in the bracket, but only one can be champion, and none have won Low Tide City before, since last year's champion, MK Leo, is not in attendance in the bracket, although he is in the venue. He's here to hang out with the friends, enjoy the pool at the wonderful Kalahari Resort, maybe have some Papa John's on the side. But now we will see who is going to make that long trek up to Grand Finals, where Cola is waiting on the results of a couple more matches. The next one we've got queued up is a battle of the 2 young guns that have been defining Smash post-quarantine. You've got FaZe Clan Spargo repping that brand new sponsor, repping the Cloud and the Pyra and Mithra as he does, and his opponent still a free agent despite the prowess that he has shown. Tri-State's Prince of New York in Zamba.
After multiple top 8s again and again and again at these big events, somebody look at this man.
Somebody pick up this man.
Pick up this guy.
For crying out loud, these two played in a top 8 like 2 weeks ago at Genesis 8, and Spargo came out on top 3-2. And personally, if I want to get some good Smash, I hope I see a Game 5 set between these two again, because that is, I believe, the only time that these two have played post-quarantine at a big tournament.
Already starting off relatively even, what you want to see if you're looking for a Game 5. They are scrapping back and forth. Again, this is a matchup where I feel like once one player starts to get it going, if they really press that advantage, they're going to go very far. But it really is very skewed once one player does get an advantage. The juggle game from the Aegis is insane. Rob off stage, especially against the Aegis recovery, is insane. You just got to wait and see what happens.
I mean, in my opinion, I look at this and I say, well, Rob's carrying a Home Depot of tools with him, and the Aegis sometimes can drop that recovery despite the fact that, yes, that advantage can be oppressive at times. But Spargo now playing from behind with Zamba striking first blood.
Yeah, once that gyro bops your jump away, it is rough off stage as the Aegis. But on stage, you're looking pretty solid, doing a good job of dealing with these gyros and lasers. You've got him in the corner. Just a little too early on the forward tilt, but still the juggle is going on.
Oh, nice little gentleman there to get Zamba off the stage, and the blazing end catching the high recovery. And I love that from Spargo, because he knows, right, there are 2 things Robs do in that situation. They either jump up to shoot a gyro or a laser to make sure that they can cover themselves on stage, or they go low, which is the safer route, but then you're Rob on the ledge, and sometimes that can be a problem.
And again, as soon as Spargo gets his hands on Zamba, once they get down, it is constant pressure, constant juggling. It is difficult for the big body Rob to make it all the way back down.
I mean, Rob, if he has a gyro in hand, is surprisingly good at landing, but without one, that's where he starts to lack mix-ups. A lot of Robs will rely heavily on that nair, but you've already seen Spargo and plenty of others who have played Zamba today demonstrate that once you're at this high of a level, you know how to play around that nair, and your toolbox needs to be a little bit deeper if you want to get back on terra firma.
But they do love to use that nair because it is very, very potent, and once you find one of those just now, might give you an opportunity to make it all the way back.
And now right there, it's a forward throw off stage, a laser not going to connect it. Zamba trying to close out the edge guard, and he will do so with an arm rotor, taking out that stock from Spargo. We're literally leaning over to look at production to tell you what's going on as Spargo starts up another juggle.
My goodness.
These two are just feeling it out in neutral right now. There is Spargo taking it down to 1 stock apiece. Percent's not too high on him just yet. We'll see how this juggle continues. Nice little 3-piece combo for Spargo.
Nair on the way down, but they are just trading blows back and forth. Neither player really taking huge advantage. There we go, finally. Spargo getting a big juggle. 80% is nice, not going to punish the air dodge, and the up air on the way down. Zamba loves that.
And you will see Zamba do that a lot when he neglects to fast fall out of the air. He will be looking to land with an aerial to do something big, but it is Spargo coming up big right now. He only needs 1 more solid hit to take the first game. That forward air is not solid enough.
Blazing and not finding its mark, but the up tilt is going to catch the landing there, and that's going to be Spargo taking that. Looking extremely solid.
Somebody who has played this matchup before. I know that obviously Zamba's got some experience up his own sleeve against the Aegis himself, including against this player. You know, one is solid, and two, the caliber that Spargo is, and he's like a 50 caliber player, if you wanted to put that in terms of how much damage he can do.
And going right back to Pokemon Stadium 2 is the pick as well. There are plenty of other stages that Rob might enjoy, but honestly, sometimes when it goes so close, when you know you've had sets between these two players that go game 5, and when it can just be, at the end of the day, who capitalized a little bit harder when they had that hit.
And one thing that Spargo is capitalizing very hard on right now is the point where he does not have to worry about the gyro. Twice, Zamba has very early in this game shot the gyro up and over Spargo, which is great if you're in the advantage as Rob, because then your opponent can only back up so far. But if you're in the disadvantage, Spargo can press on the gas pedal and do tons of damage. That's why Zamba so quickly has entered kill percent.
Absolutely, and up smash is going to scoop up all the way back to the Mithra. Just to get that distance, not quite able to catch with a blazing end. Forward air takes the stock, and we have gyro in hand. Could be huge.
And I love that he jumps onto the platform to toss that as high as possible. It's those little optimizations that you just put into your muscle memory and you say, I don't even have to think about it. I just know that this is going to buy me an extra second where I don't have to deal with the ground control that the gyro buys Zamba. And look at the reactions from Spargo, too.
Doing a great job avoiding the arm rotor and immediately applying pressure. Once again, we've got Zamba in the corner.
And you can tell just how quickly Spargo is able to just strike on Zamba like a viper anytime he gives him even the smallest commit. And he says, nuh-uh, give that to me.
Absolutely huge use of your resources there. My goodness, Spargo is running over Zamba in this game.
Actually breakdancing on him to get that second stock, and Zamba just can't get his feet on salt. Well, I say his feet, but Rob does not have feet.
The only character in the game.
The only one.
Oh my god. Yeah, eventually though, Zamba did find footing, or treading, if you will.
And that's that exact situation where that gyro being behind your opponent can be so helpful when you can knock them into it. But Zamba's not getting the chance right now. Spargo on the verge of closing out a 3-stock. And with that down air into up air, he does just that with a dominant game 2.
Absolutely dominantly. Never was there a moment where I felt like control was out of Spargo's hands. There was a couple of moments there where obviously, you know, we got up to that 100% because there was a few moments that Zamba was able to apply some pressure, but never did it feel like it was a dangerous moment for Spargo.
I mean, this is just what Spargo does. Oh no. Okay.
That sure would be a choice.
Look, that's not even one of the characters that normally we're like, okay, I know that there is a Link, I know that there is a Roy in Zamba's pockets, but those pockets are on a different pair of pants entirely, right? Like, Rob is the one character that makes Zamba the big money, and everybody's been saying we want to see him stick to this character as the #1 Rob in North America. Have some faith in that. Spargo's made some great adaptations, but we've seen Zamba make big comebacks. We saw it just earlier in the bracket in quarterfinals in losers that Zamba was able to do just that.
Even within the span of one game, 3-stock comebacks. And again, I feel like the way the matchup plays out, I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but we didn't see Spargo have to recover more than maybe once in the last game, and because of that, you really didn't get to see the big advantages of Rob.
And I feel like that's a problem of playing on Pokemon Stadium 2 and just saying, oh, well, it's just about the adaptation, right? And to a point, you're right, but if Spargo is the one that's constantly tossing you off stage, he's constantly getting the ledge traps like he did there to take the lead once again. You're not going to get him in a lot of situations like this. Like you said, that's the key, but Zamba SDs as we look away.
Started mashing that side B arm rotor a little bit too fast and fell off stage at 0%.
That's not the first time we've seen that either. I forget if it was Pound or if it was Genesis recently that we saw that exact same thing happen to Zamba, where all of a sudden the stock was gone. Might have it here, but Spargo with the deepest recovery.
Yeah, barely surviving. I do not know how he had the pixels to make that back, but because he is firmly planted back on the ground, once again applying that advantage. And again, the huge length of Pokemon Stadium 2 really is, I think, coming into Spargo's favor, being able to avoid Zomba's advantage and press his own.
Zomba tried to catch the gyro and then shoot it again immediately, but didn't have it in his hands. And man, Spargo's barely even old enough to drive, but he has been in the driver's seat this entire game, and the last one as well. Seems like it's only a matter of time, but we also said that about the Mudace set too.
Absolutely, anything could happen here, but Zomba on their last legs does get caught by the Blazing End, but surviving.
Barely able to make it back on stage. The gentleman gonna be enough to catch the big body. Spargo also throws out the big body with the 3-0 victory in losers semifinals.
Brilliant to use the jab as the punish there as well. It's a guaranteed punish off parry because you get those 4 frames at advantage. So 2-frame jab coming out off of the back of
really
Pyra.
2 frames?
That's 2 frames.
Oh my goodness.
Pyra and Mithra are insane characters, do a lot of damage real quick, and the frame data is not lacking either.
As it turns out, they're rather good characters.
They're rather good characters.
Who knew? Well, it's a good run for Zomba nonetheless. I mean, to even get this far, he had to fight tooth and nail in multiple sets. I mean, the set against Apollo Kage in loser 7ths was no walk in the park. Obviously, against Mudace, both players got pushed to their limit, but Spargo just looking so strong. The guy that got upset in winners early on as the #1 seed now is ready to continue that run deep into the tournament.
Not going to give Zomba an opportunity to fight for the title of King of New York with Dabuz still waiting in the bracket, but it will be set up for now Dabuz versus Spargo, see who's really got the most fire in them left.
Prince of New York defeated on to the King. Even though there is a little bit of debate considering the results recently. I mean, Dabuz has just historically been so good at LTC events. And I know I mentioned this earlier, but again, LTC 7, he got 2nd place going into Grands from winner's side. Low Tide City last year in October got into Grand Finals winner's side, but both of those times he got 2nd and got the resets on him. Now maybe the tides will turn for him if he's the one coming into Grand Finals from the loser's side. Maybe that's the magic.
Maybe that is the magic of Low Tide City. That loser's run is always the one that you want to be making. Of course, a loser's run from winner's finals is not quite that much of a loser's run.
No, not really.
But coming from that side of things, you definitely still have to have the right mindset to play in that bracket.
It's just the magic. But, I mean, if Dabuz wants to do that, he's got to get through the #1 seed to the tournament. And, I mean, what basically everybody's agreeing is the #2 player in the world,
and
right?
You gotta point out that it was the Cola Cloud that sealed the deal in winners. And there is a lot more where that came from in Spargo.
I mean, people will say that that is the better Cloud. And, I mean, how can you argue when you look at the results? And I think it's so interesting to see how this tournament's going to turn out, because Dabuz has yet to win a major post-quarantine. Cola has a couple under his belt when you put together Infinity Con and CEO, but he has yet to put together like that string that really cements himself in that top echelon, right? Although we know how good Cola is.
We know how good he is.
But most tournaments have been run by what people kind of consider the outside of Japan top 5 in Leo, Pluto, Spargo, Light, and Tweak, right? Most of the tournaments have been between those 5 outside of Japan, again, with that caveat. And Cola's one of the only people to have taken a tournament outside of that top 5. And if Dabuz can take one, he can cement himself into a pretty exclusive group.
Absolutely, and he's kind of been Mr. Consistency for a long time in Super Smash Bros. Has had a little bit of dip and a little bit of a lull here and there in Ultimate, but coming back pretty strong right now, again, in Losers Finals.
I mean, you look at Dabuz just as somebody who plays a lot of other games as well, right? You look at his history playing, Brawl and Smash 4, obviously. Did you know that he was the #1 PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale player in the world? Did you know that he was the #1 Kid Icarus Uprising player in the world? He has been on top in both of those games, and those have pretty much nothing to do with Smash Brothers. But here in Smash Ultimate, he has got to climb to the top, and it's been the return of the Min Min lately that has put in a lot of work. It did so much for him last year at Low Tide City, but afterwards he said, yeah, I'm pretty much dropping this character, but he's rediscovered the magic tonight.
This is the magic that got the win over Mudace, and this is the character we didn't try against Cola, but maybe the answer to the Cloud. because Cloud does give a lot of the characters Dabuz otherwise messes around with trouble.
Yeah, the Olimar, even the Rosalina, right? All of them can suffer, and we saw how things went against the Sora as well, although that was with Colas Roy. But here with the Min Min, it's going to be all about trying to maintain that center stage and not let Spargo do what he does best, which is put on corner pressure himself.
Going to be very patient with how he approaches Min Min, swinging those arms. Dabuz doing a good job of just holding this space under the platform. Going to be difficult for Spargo to jump in on that.
Oh, and he jumps in a little bit too close, gets caught by that up B to reset the situation. Dabuz not pushing too hard. I think he's sitting back a little bit and trying to see how Spargo is going to be reacting to these impulses of the arms. What if I throw out one? What if it's just the Ram Ram? What if the Dragon Arm follows it?
Yeah, and we've seen moments where Spargo has held shield for just an insane amount of time. I think Dabuz really saving the grab for the moments where it'll matter most, conditioning Spargo to be safe in this shield.
Barely missing with that big neutral air, but I don't think he got the full connection of that climb hazard, so Limit not going to result in a stock, but the Megawatt will, so let me say it. Who do you think you are? I am. Oh, that's who he is.
You know,
okay, got it.
To answer a good sports reference with another, Tiger Woods swing coming through.
Check out his golf swing. It's pretty nice.
It's pretty nice. Spargo now setting up this ledge trap, putting a lot of damage on Dabuz, answered so fast.
Oh, and Spargo with that deep edge guard with the Nair, and Dabuz knew that was going to be it. He didn't have the distance to make it back at that point, so it's a clean one-stock lead for Spargo.
And plenty of other players might not have even gone for that edge guard because they think, well, I have to burn my limit to go out here for this. And will it be worth it? But Spargo understood, hey, this is a risk reward I'm willing to take.
Spargo is never one to shy away from actually using the resources at his disposal. Obviously, you're a little bit more inclined to do that in this game since limit does run out after a time, unlike in Smash 4. But to that degree, Spargo knows, right? Use it or lose it. And if I see an opportunity for a kill, I'm going out there.
And absolutely, once again, we see Spargo he's not shy to use that limit.
No.
Not shy to jump off stage, even against a character that can reversal so incredibly hard like Min Min. Spargo's
Min Min's one of those characters like the Belmonts where if you mess up edge guarding them, suddenly you put yourself in the worst position possible. But nice punch back there by Dabuz. He knows that he's in equally as bad a position when he's off stage with that limited recovery. And now the question is getting out of the corner, does find it with that roll.
And Dabuz stealing position again, now with the grab.
God, we have seen some of the craftiest recoveries of all time from Spargo, and that continues to shine as he gains that limit and gets right back to the ledge.
I'm flabbergasted at the fact that he survived long enough to die to an up smash and not just off stage.
I love that word, flabbergasted.
It really did blow my mind. Spargo now holding center, getting a little bit of that limit charge, staying away from the range of Dabuz grab so he can safely react to it with a shield. And now once Dabuz jumping in to get stuff done, it's the up smash once again that takes that stock. Spargo taking the first game.
He caught on to that rhythm with the idea of like kind of one of the core ideas of Smash Bros that you notice as you start to play more and more people, which is that a lot of people will not opt to do the same thing twice in a row. So they'll throw in something a little bit different before they go for that option again. It's kind of like the John Mulaney bit with all of the what's new pussycats with one it's not unusual thrown in the middle.
Exactly.
People will do the same thing. Dabuz went for 2 short hop nairs and then decided I need to dash dance, but I still want to throw out that nair afterwards. So he mixes in that dash dance, and Spargo recognized he still wants to do that nair, so let me anti-air him with this big up smash to take the game.
Exactly. Worst case in the world, he takes a trade and still takes that game.
And I mean, yeah, he's sitting at 0 and Dabuz is sitting at kill percent, so it's well worth the risk.
Looking really, really solid. Playing around Min Min's ranges, doing a good job of staying, like I was mentioning, outside of the grab range and far enough that you can kind of react to when the arms are being thrown at you. I think that's why he's been so content to hold shield at certain ranges. Because until Dabuz is up close, even if he is going for the grab, that's kind of reactable. If you're a young man like Spargo.
The young man reaction times, as we know.
Going to Town and City as the answer for Dabuz. Wants these closer side blast zones at a little bit taller ceiling so he's not dying to as many of these up smashes.
Because that did happen quite a few times. And also keeping that long length of stage so it's harder for him to go off stage. Whereas Min Min puts you off stage from basically anywhere as long as she's got her feet planted on the ground. But it's tough getting out of the corner against Spargo. We have seen that plenty of times before, and he will remind you of it again and again. Positively with that cross slash there.
Finding a grab though, Dabuz has an opportunity to even this up. Spargo doing a great job of saving his jump for the right time and mixing up the recovery just enough.
Ooh. Wow, Dabuz actually getting the spot dodge in the middle of those cross slashes, but send him down to the depths with the forward air as we've seen before from Spargo. He is brutal.
He's another one of those players that will just play so reserved and clean on stage until he gets his one opening, and then he will absolutely put you in the dirt.
He picks his spots better than anybody else out there.
And that is why he is #1 seed of the event. That is why he is, like you mentioned, in the upper echelon, the 5 players that outside of Japan are really running events right now. Great, once again, recovery, getting around these arms, swinging at the ledge.
Ooh, soft up air to catch that drift from Dabuz, and now again a forward air. Spargo, he is playing with some vigor right now, and with Dabuz caught off stage, wow, he's still back.
Absolutely zero fear. This man has not lived long enough to know what to be afraid of.
Somebody has to put the fear into you, and nobody has done that yet for Spargo, clearly.
Absolutely not Dabuz doing it right now. This is Spargo once again rolling over his opponent.
And the megawatt is out, but you can see that Spargo is doing an even better job of respecting that space, and no respect for the min-min recovery. Forward air, sour, sweet, you name it, it will put in work off stage.
And if this was the answer in your character, in your wheel of characters for Cloud, I don't know what you got left. Might be time to pull out something different after that insane performance from Spargo.
It's looking pretty dominant, and that's what's so admirable about Spargo, is that even if he takes that game 1, he is still going to continue to take that time to make those small adaptations to not only keep himself in the game, but to widen the lead, widen the gap, the chasm that you feel like you have to cross. Did somebody say Steve? Okay, is that Sora? I was afraid. I was like, I wouldn't doubt it, but oh my goodness.
I think maybe they said Busby.
Busby. The Buzz kind of cute, the Buzz kind of clean, but can he reach grand finals of LTC?
Right now, going to be trying it with Sora, is trying something new, and the crowd is going loud once again with all of the spells.
We've got a few wizards out there, apparently.
Thunder into the freeze, into the Dabuz off stage.
A place that he is far more comfortable to be now that he's playing Sora instead of the Min-Min. So maybe that's one of the things he's looking for, is to just be, oh my goodness, wait. I'm watching Rob. I'm watching like Samus.
Spargo kind of looking like he's playing Sora the way he's mashing that B button. Fire, fire.
I'd love to hear the crowd go, Blade Beam, Blade Beam.
Dabuz getting real comfortable off stage here. Great preparation, ready for the tech. Goes for a second, and once again, Dabuz not going to fall victim. Uses his one air dodge, and this time, not going to need a tech, but is caught by the forward tilt on the getup.
It is genuinely just so impressive how Spargo never drops those edge guards. It just always ends up in his favor, it seems.
What's also amazing to me is how prepared Dabuz looks like he is in that scenario, and still being so far behind right now. 80% is nothing to sneeze at, but it is Spargo's turn to apply a little bit more.
Nice, great nair out of shield, and the noobs to do it too. There's your future of Sora.
Dabuz doing such a good job, dragging all the way to the platform. Great stage selection, allowing him to do that. And you now know, even if you're down by a good bit of percent, it is nothing that Sora can't make up. Multiple hits of that Thunder, frees a lot of shield damage, but up out of shield is plenty enough for Cloud.
And Spargo knows, right? I put the Sora off stage. That's going to buy me a whole lot of shield back, because it's going to take him a while to get back, and he says counter.
Ooh, multiple empty hops, wanted to bait out an out of shield option, threatening the back air, but Dabuz waited for it. Back off stage now.
Spargo getting a little cavalier with those up smashes as well. Dabuz was well out of the way of that one, but now he is right back into the crossing path of those blade beams that he does a phenomenal job of dealing with.
Back air not quite finding its mark, so Dabuz able to 5 for center stage, push Spargo off, but that's a big forward smash whiff, and that's Spargo pushing Dabuz potentially to his last stock in this tournament if he doesn't turn it up.
Out of the way of the blade beam. He is playing with fire right now, and Spargo looking to extinguish it.
Absolutely. Looking to put the tournament in a tourniquet. Oh my God, Spargo pulling out the climb hazard all the way down. He had no fear.
Wrap it up. It's bleeding. You gotta cut off the circulation, as well as Spargo has cut off the buzz from his third straight appearance at an LTC Grand Finals. He puts an exclamation mark on a 3-0 victory.
He has never let off the gas pedal the entire losers run we've seen out of Spargo, and potentially setting up for one of the most electrifying grand finals we have seen thus far. Two of the most hot and vicious players.
I am so excited to see it. The history between Spargo and DeBuzz climbs to now 5-0 in their history, and that's the first one that they've had post-quarantine. Now we will get into a bit more of an interesting matchup, because Spargo versus Cola, last time they played was the one time that they played post-quarantine, and that was Cola getting a 3-0 victory at main stage.
That's insane. Between these two, you do expect a lot of momentum swinging back and forth, but when you are a momentum heavy base player, you can see stuff like those 3-0s start to swing, and that's what we've seen a lot of out of Spargo. Is he has very close game one, but like you mentioned, he doesn't wait for something to go wrong to start that adaptation. He is ready